Imagine a world where money isn't real. Not in the sense that coins and bills are fake, but that the entire system you trust, your savings, your bank account, your very wealth is built on invisible rules designed to keep you indebted. What if everything you think you know about money, about freedom, about wealth, is a carefully crafted illusion? Today, we're uncovering the hidden history of money that they never wanted you to know. To understand how we got here, we have to travel back thousands of years. The story begins not with banks or stock markets, but with simple trade. Early humans exchanged goods, grain for livestock, shells for tools. Money, in its earliest form, was tangible, finite, and tied directly to value. But as civilizations grew, rulers and merchants realized something powerful. If you control money, you control society itself. Enter the first true innovators of finance, the ancient Mesopotamian temples. These weren't just religious centers, they were the first banks. They lent grain to farmers, tracked debts, and collected interests. The concept was simple but profound. Someone could owe more than they possessed. Debt became the first lever of power. Those who controlled the ledger could shape lives, cities, and entire economies. Fast forward to medieval Europe, where gold and silver dominated trade. Kings hoarded precious metals to assert power, while merchants developed letters of credit and promissory notes to facilitate commerce. But with precious metals came limits. Economies could only grow as fast as gold and silver allowed. That limitation was inconvenient for rulers who wanted more control, more wealth, and more influence. Something had to change. And it did. In the 17th century, the first modern central banks emerged. Institutions like the Bank of England introduced a radical idea: paper money backed not by gold, but by government promise and, more importantly, by debt. The state could borrow endlessly, issuing more notes than they had gold to back them. The power shifted. Money was no longer tied to tangible value. It became a tool to manipulate economies, populations, and politics. Those who controlled the printing press now controlled life itself. The 20th century pushed this system to extremes. The gold standard, once a supposed anchor of stability, was abandoned. Wars, depressions, and financial crises proved that nations could create money at will, and governments would. But here's the twist most people never see. Every dollar, every euro, every yen created is also a debt owed to private banks. Fractional reserve banking, a system allowing banks to lend far more than they actually hold, multiplied this effect. Money became both an instrument of power and a source of endless instability. Breaking points came in waves. The Great Depression, the 1971 Nixon shock ending the US dollar's convertibility to gold, the 2008 global financial crisis, they all followed the same pattern. Massive debt, unchecked money creation, and a disconnect between money and real value. And yet, the public rarely sees the full story. Bailouts, stimulus packages, and central bank interventions appear as solutions, but they often reinforce the same cycle: more debt, more control, more inequality. What happened in history is happening again today. Global debt now exceeds $350 trillion. That's more than 4 times the entire world's annual economic output. Governments borrow to survive, banks profit from interest, and ordinary people shoulder the burden. Meanwhile, crisis bank collapses, recessions, inflation, spikes are not anomalies. They are predictable outcomes of a system designed to concentrate power and wealth. The patterns repeat, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. So what does this hidden history teach us? First, money is not neutral, it's a tool. Understanding who controls it, and how, reveals the invisible levers shaping societies. Second, debt is not just an economic instrument. It is a social and political weapon. Third, financial crises are not accidents, they are engineered outcomes of the system itself. Recognizing these truths is essential, not just for survival, but for empowerment. But there's a warning. Systems built on debt, illusion, and control cannot sustain themselves indefinitely. Every collapse leaves a trail of devastation, lost savings, shattered lives, and a public left questioning reality. If we fail to study history, we are doomed to repeat it. The hidden mechanisms of money will continue to shape our lives, often without our awareness, unless we choose to see the patterns. Before you go, remember this: the history of money is not just about coins or bills, it's about power, trust, and control. Question what you've been taught. Observe the patterns repeating around you, and understand that the story of money is also the story of every society that has ever existed. If you found this journey into the hidden history of money eye-opening, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the financial secrets that shape our world. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an insight, because understanding the past is the first step to mastering the future.